Yo, what's up, YouTube? It's your boy King Leo, and I'm back here today. I'm gonna do another mock draft, and I'm gonna upload this on Monday. I'm gonna be doing mock drafts every Monday up until the league starts. And I know I uploaded one yesterday, but I like doing them. I love doing them. It's good for people that don't have the time to do fantasy. You guys can tune in and just listen. Also for new people playing fantasy, those that want to see a good draft strategy and what a good draft looks like to kind of get a base of what they should do going into their drafts at home. And today I'm going to do a 10 team. I did a 12 team on my last video, and I'm also on the Sleeper platform this time instead of Fantasy Pros. Sleeper is another good mock draft place to be. Also a good platform to play fantasy on. So I'm going to do a, let's see, random number generator to find our pick. I did 6 in our last one, so anything but 6 will do. Oh, that's 12. I mean to do 10. So let's just generate 3, the third pick. So we will do the third pick today. Now this is a PPR draft. It's probably the most common style of play. So Jonathan Taylor, Austin Eckler goes 2. Okay. So sitting here at 3, there's a couple of options. We always like to go running back first usually. McCaffrey is here. The only thing we have to worry about McCaffrey is we know he's going to get the volume, but how healthy can he stay? And also the quarterback situation in Carolina is a little iffy. So he is an option there. Derrick Henry, a rushing monster. He's been a dominant force in the league the past couple of years. Great in fantasy. Again, with him, it's just he came off of a big injury. So we'll see how he does. Cooper Kupp, definitely worthy of the third pick, worthy of the first pick, even, I would say. I don't think he's going to repeat what he did last season, but, even if he does 80% of that, 75% of that, that's still worth a very high first-round draft pick. And I think Justin Jefferson as well. He has a very high ceiling with the new Minnesota offense we're looking forward to see coming from the Rams offensive coordinator. But I think with this pick, even Najee Harris, you can go with it, this pick. This pick, we're going to bet on Christian McCaffrey staying healthy. I'll go with, just because whenever he is on the field, the volume that he gets, pass catching, carrying the ball, and in PPR, catching passes is the most important thing. Having players that get receptions, receivers obviously, but running backs, I think targets and receptions are more valuable than carries. So now we're here at our second pick. Tyreek Hill is the top available player. I don't really want to go that route though, just because of the unknown in Miami. And I don't know how well his play style will fit with Tua, and they also have Jalen Waddle there. Josh Allen would be a great pick for quarterback. The best quarterback in fantasy to go with this year. Kamara, still wondering about the suspension. I think he'll end up playing this year. But man, Deebo Samuel is also a guy. Javonte Williams, Saquon Barkley. A couple of guys here. I think I'm going to wait on quarterback, and I'm going to end up doubling down on my running backs. Now this is a risk taking Alvin Kamara here because of the suspension deal. But if we have him and Christian McCaffrey paired together, we will be set with 2 great overall running backs, great pass catching running backs, getting us those real valuable PPR receptions. So we'll go with that. And we see Deebo go. That's what I was going to try to get next. So our running backs are locked down. So now that we're scrolling here, I definitely don't want to go running back again. No need to go 3 running backs here, even though running backs are very valuable. What's the lineup look like? Okay, so it's 2 flex positions. So I could go another running back. I think Javonte Williams would be the best option there because his ceiling in that Broncos offense led by Russell Wilson now should be a very good offense with a lot of scoring opportunities. Saquon Barkley, again, that's just the Giants offense. I'm not really sold on them. He's a great talent, but he has had an injury history. The Giants offense is not very good. So I'm a little skeptical about taking Saquon, but coming down here, think Kyle Pitts is going to be a great option. Now, they did draft Drake London. That'll take some targets away from Kyle Pitts. They have Marcus Mariota as their starting quarterback. We don't know how that'll go with Matt Ryan not being there. But I think Kyle Pitts' game overall can only elevate as a player. I mean, does it show what he had last year stats-wise on here? It does not. Wait, maybe it will. Not too many big games, but I think, his talent overall, I think he can only elevate. And then tight end is a very scarce position in fantasy. So getting a top 3 tight end in a very high value position will give me a matchup advantage week in and week out, unless I'm going against the Mark Andrewses and Travis Kelce's of the world. But we'll go with Kyle Pitts here. Solidify that tight end spot. Patrick Mahomes off the board. Ezekiel Elliott in the 4th round. That's actually crazy to me this year, because even though he's been a bust, it's just bust is dependent on draft capital where you're picked at. So getting Zeke in the 4th round is really good because he's going to score a lot of touchdowns. All right, next pick. We still need a quarterback. What are we looking like at quarterback? Lamar, Joe Burrow, Kyler Murray. I'm a fan of waiting on quarterback because the difference between QB 10 and QB 3 or 4, it's not as vastly different as wide receiver 16 to wide receiver 25, 30. They're going to be close. And right here is interesting. I see Breece Hall, the rookie running back for the Jets offense. The only thing about him is Michael Carter is there. He had a solid season last year, but I don't know how much Michael Carter is going to be involved. I think Breece Hall will get the majority of the snaps, and the Jets offense is also prone to be really bad until we see the progression. So I'm going to hold off on Breece Hall, but he is an intriguing player with his skill set. He can do it all: pass catch, pass protect, run between the tackles. James Conner, if he does anything like he did last season, would be a good pick, but I'm going to hold off on running back again, I believe. I have Jalen Waddle here, Michael Pittman. I think my pick is going to be between one of them because I still need a receiver. Oh, man. I believe I'm going to go with Michael Pittman because Michael Pittman is the solidified number 1 in that offense. He's going to be playing with Matt Ryan, who is known to really force feed his number 1 wide receivers, looking at Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley over the past couple years. And I just think it's a great opportunity for Michael Pittman to grow. Now, if Jalen Waddle was there, I would have picked him. But now here we are. Next pick. I'm not a fan of DK Metcalf because he is going to be playing with Drew Lock, and I'm not confident in having DK with Drew Lock. He just got paid, though, so shout out to DK. DJ Moore, same thing. I don't like his quarterback situation. You want to pick players that are in good offenses with good talent around them, because that's going to help their overall success, which helps their fantasy production and outlook. But I don't want to reach too far and go get a guy like Judy or Sutton, even though I think they're great picks for this year, playing with Russell Wilson. So I think it's going to come down to Breece Hall and Travis Etienne. Travis Etienne coming off of an injury, but he's had a long time to recover, so I think he'll be really well. Now, both of these offenses are not good, so that's a knock on both of these things. But I think for a PPR format, I'm going to side with Etienne slightly over Breece Hall because of what Travis Etienne showed in college catching the football. And also, Trevor Lawrence is a check down machine. He had, I believe, the most check downs in the league last year. So Travis Etienne should get a lot of those looks. And they put a lot of draft capital in him, picking him in the first round. Now, James Robinson is there, but I think Etienne will take on more of the pass catching role in that offense. And this is a PPR format. So PPR, I'm going Etienne. Standard, I'm going Breece Hall. But we'll go with Travis Etienne. And Breece Hall goes right after. Can't go wrong with either one, I believe, but it's just preferences based on the format that you're playing on. Elijah Mitchell, I was hoping he would be there, and you see Sutton and Judy go back to back. Okay, still needing a quarterback. So Russell Wilson is there. Dak Prescott, Brady, Rogers, Stafford. See, there's still a good abundance of quarterbacks. Even Derek Carr and Kirk Cousins, I would be fine with this year. But let's see, J.K. Dobbins, coming off of an injury, I don't know. Even though that is a super run-heavy offense. And the Ravens should bounce back this year. Scrolling down, there's not too many names I like. Amon-Ra St. Brown I like. Chris Godwin and Allen Robinson are good players, but I just don't know the volume share they're going to get in their offenses. Dalton Schultz would be a great pick if we didn't have a tight end, just because the Dallas offense should have a lot of scoring opportunities, and the rapport that he has with Dak Prescott, I'm really a fan of. I would really look to trade this pick if I was in a league, just because it's like a dead area of the draft. I still need a receiver, but I don't want to reach too far for one. That's the thing. Sometimes you get stuck in these situations where you just have to take the best player available, and that's going to be J.K. Dobbins. It's a good pick. He's not the best PPR guy, but you don't always just need pass catchers. You can settle with guys that are just run between the tackles, touchdown opportunity guys. And, if he's fully healthy, he's a great running back to have, and he's going to be my RB3 when realistically he's a RB2 type of player. So our next pick here, I really need to take a receiver just because I have that slot open. Amon-Ra St. Brown finished the league phenomenally last year. It's just that they've added so much talent, I feel like, to the offense. I don't know. So Sleeper has competition for targets. They added a lot of people. I mean, DJ Chark coming in. They drafted Jameson Williams, who will probably play the second half of the season. I'm a fan of Khalif Raymond. I think the beginning of the season, Amon-Ra will be well. But I think going over the stretch of this year, Darnell Mooney will be a better pick because he's the solidified number one in that Chicago offense. And he's built more chemistry with Justin Fields now. And there's not really any guys that I think that will challenge him for target share. I mean, Byron Pringle, Velus Jones. I mean, I'm not really... Those are just guys to me. Darnell Mooney is the number one guy in that offense. Should be a lock to go for 1,000 yards. I think at this point, if you can get a receiver that's going to get 1,000 yards, you take them. So we'll go with Darnell Mooney. I like the way this team is shaping out right now. Still needing a quarterback. I see a guy I would love to have here. And that guy is going to be Drake London of the Atlanta Falcons, rookie receiver. Now, he did tear his ACL, but coming onto the Falcons, he's instantly installed as the number one wide receiver. 6'4", 213. He's like he has a Mike Evans type build, but he's more, he has a little bit more finesse and wiggle to him. So if we're talking, we see what Mike Evans is doing in the league. Drake London has that same ability, but I feel like he's more fluid. And there's not really nobody that's going to challenge him at the receiver position for targets, especially with Calvin Ridley being out the whole year for that crazy nonsense. Kyle Pitts is there, and we have Kyle Pitts on the team. I don't normally like to stack two pass catchers on the same team, but I believe Drake London is going to be such a valuable player at this pick that he could instantly turn into trade value. Or I could, just be more flexible. Say if Michael Pittman is going off, Mooney is going off, and I want to sell them high, trade for, a elite level quarterback or one of my running backs goes down and I need to make a trade, Drake London gives me more flexibility, I feel like, and also just upside in general. So we're going to go with Drake London. And there is two more great receivers that I see, Devontae Smith and Gabriel Davis. Devontae Smith, Heisman Trophy winner, had a solid rookie year. Gabriel Davis, we seen what he did in the playoffs this past year, the AFC Championship. It was a divisional game against the Kansas City Chiefs. And now Gabriel Davis's role is going to be increased because he's the number 2 receiver in Buffalo now, in a very great offense led by Josh Allen. Devontae Smith, the Eagles are more of a running team, and they also added A.J. Brown. So he's no longer the number 1 there. They also had Zach Pascal. Not really going to challenge him for targets, but, they still added a piece there. But when it comes down to this, I think Devontae Smith as a talent is better than Gabriel Davis. But Gabriel Davis' situation and his supporting cast around him supports him more for fantasy. So I would lean towards Gabriel Davis in this situation, playing with Josh Allen in a very high explosive Buffalo offense. So we'll go with Gabriel Davis. Now this team is shaping out to be a championship team. This is a 10-team league, so it seems a little stacked to me. I'm used to 12-team leagues. Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, Dawson Knox. That's 3 guys right there to target. Okay, next pick. Let's see what we're looking at for our team. Still needing a quarterback, and it's fine to wait on quarterback. There's still all those guys right there are fine to have as your starting quarterback in fantasy. Christian McCaffrey, Alvin Kamara, Michael Pittman, Darnell Mooney, Kyle Pitts, Etienne, J.K. Dobbins, Drake London, Gabriel Davis. That is a loaded team. Loaded. And I'm going to add to it, and I'm not going to put much thought into any other player here, but James Cook. James Cook is a guy, again, another Buffalo player who plays in a great offense. Now, there is Devin Singletary, Zach Moss there, but they drafted James Cook for a reason, to fulfill this pass-catching, explosive running back role. They tried to get the Washington running back, what is his name, J.D. McKissick, because they had intentions to fill that role, find a player that can fill that role to add to their offense. And last minute, McKissick went back to Washington. So then they draft James Cook. So I think they have a plan in place with James Cook. And James Cook could eventually end up taking over most of the carries because Singletary hasn't been great as a running back. Zach Moss hasn't been great as a running back. So who is to say that James Cook can't come in there and be the explosive player that he was at Georgia and take over the number 1 role? See, latest news is James Cook getting passing down work in camp. That's what we expect, and this is a PPR format, so we need guys that are going to get targets and get receptions. So we'll go with James Cook here. Now, still needing a quarterback. I think our roster is phenomenal for a 10-man league. We have just great versatility everywhere. This is a great roster. I think I need to hold off on running back. There's usually going to be more bench spots in a regular standard league. I guess this is just what Sleeper had it set to for whatever reason, but it's fine. We'll manage. I am going to go ahead and pick my quarterback, though. I could wait. I really could wait, actually, though. I could still wait. I'm going to wait on it, and I'm going to go pick a defense. Can't go wrong with any defense. I'll be the first team to take a defense. Defenses, they're important in fantasy because if you get one of these elite level defenses, you have a matchup versus people who are wavering in and out defenses every week. You have a matchup advantage there, and it might be 5-10 points, but that could be the difference in winning that fantasy game that week. So having a solid defense that you don't have to worry about, that you don't have to spend waivers on trying to get each week, and you could pick up valuable players who are breaking out, is good to have. So don't be scared to be the first one in your league to pick a defense, even a kicker. Like having Justin Tucker, Harrison Buckner, Matt Gay, all those top guys, that's good to have. You don't have to keep wavering kickers in and out. You just have a solid, consistent, I want to say player, but it's not a player. But in this situation, I'm just going to pick the Rams. You know, I have my favorite defenses this year that I don't really want to leak out because I know my league mates will be watching, but I'm going to go with the Rams. They have superstars, Jalen Ramsey, Bobby Wagner, Aaron Donald. So you can't go wrong with picking the Rams defense. Getting very close to the end here. Derek Carr, Sky Moore. I'm going to go ahead and go with my kicker, and I'm going to take Justin Tucker. Still the best kicker in the league. He has potential to hit 64, 65-yard field goals that just rack up points, so we'll go with Justin Tucker. Now I believe I'm going to take my quarterback. And first of all, this tight end, Albert Okwuegbunam, I don't know how to say his last name, but he is a great pick this year. Y'all go get him. But a quarterback to wait on, if you guys really want to wait and just load up your rosters at running back, wide receiver, tight end, is Kirk Cousins. Like we said earlier, Minnesota getting into this new pass-heavy attack with the offensive coordinator from the Rams coming over there. Kirk Cousins is primed to throw for probably pushing 4,500 yards, and that's going to be awesome for fantasy. He's going to have more yards, more touchdowns, more attempts. And Kirk Cousins isn't a bad player. I think he gets a very bad rap just because, you know, he hasn't had postseason success really. He's not this elite athlete or this elite thrower of the football, but Kirk Cousins has been consistent for 10 years in this league. So getting Kirk Cousins in fantasy is nothing to be frowned upon. Like, go draft Kirk Cousins this year. Man, I wish I had more picks because there's a lot of bench players I would like to go get. You see, they're rounding out with those defenses and kickers here. So our last pick, we only have one tight end, so we could use a tight end. We could go get a quarterback as well. There's guys down here, Mac Ryan, you know, Deshaun Watson. If he plays this year, that'll be a steal if he's able to play. I think Jared Goff is a sneaky player. The Lions added a lot of playmakers. They have playmakers on that offense, so I think he's a sneaky pick. But really, I think I need a tight end just to back up Kyle Pitts and have some security if he goes down. Irv Smith, again, that Minnesota offense, grab people in Minnesota offense. It's a really condensed offense. They just use their top playmakers. They don't really spread the ball and rotate guys in and out. I think Noah Fant, great athlete. Sucks that he's still playing with Drew Lock. Who else is here at tight end? Hayden Hurst has the opportunity in Cincinnati. We're going to go with Irv Smith. Again, we're going to stay on the Minnesota Vikings wave with this new offense going on. So this is going to be our last pick. When you guys get late into your drafts, you don't really need to find guys that are just going to be guys. You need to find guys that are going to have high ceilings. So, you know, what's the point of me picking, say, a guy like Marquez Valdez-Scantling or even Jarvis Landry when we know who they are as a player? And they'll probably end up getting dropped and put on waivers within a couple weeks. Maybe even before the season. No, I'm capping, but they're going to end up being on. Those are waiver type players versus we can look down here. Look at Rachaad White, rookie running back for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Great at catching passes. That's what he did in college, catching the ball out the backfield. What does Tom Brady utilize very well? Pass catching running backs, Deion Lewis, James White. So Rachaad White is one of those guys that can do that. And they have him as the second player on the depth chart. And the player above him, Leonard Fournette, we know that he has floss hamstrings. So his ceiling, Rachaad White, is so high. Even a guy like, let's look down here. I think Davis Price is a guy because the 49ers, they tend to just run the running back with whoever has the hot hand. I love Elijah Mitchell, but 49ers have a different running back every year. Jahan Dotson, Tim Patrick, Jalen Tober. These are high ceiling guys. Alec Pierce, KJ Osborne, guys that could. Curtis Samuel this late. Curtis Samuel, it's ridiculous that he's going this late in drafts. So if this draft was longer, I would definitely come down here and get more of those guys. But for now, I'm gonna go with Rachaad White to finish off this draft. This is a stacked team. I would feel confident that I would be a lock to make the playoffs with this roster. Imagine we get 2 years ago Christian McCaffrey, 3 years ago Kamara, with up-and-coming receivers like Pittman, Mooney, and Pitts, Travis Etienne's potential, Justin Tucker, the Rams defense, potential of Drake London, Gabriel Davis, an up-and-coming star. Like, this is a very solid roster. If you guys can, like, use this as a template for how to go about your drafts in 10-man leagues for PPR, you guys would be fine. But, like I said, I'm going to do mock drafts every Monday until the season starts. We call it Mock Draft Monday. And I'm gonna give you guys other fantasy content. Like, I'm about to record another video right after this, my top deep sleepers in PPR leagues. But other than that, if you guys made it this far, thank you for watching. Like the video, comment what you guys want to see. I was working on my Trey Hendrickson player analysis, but it's gotten so late that NFL Game Pass / NFL Plus now, they're changing over. They took away last season's game footage, so I'm just going to wait until the regular season to do breakdowns of players, especially if players have big games. We'll check out why they had big games. But other than that, thank you guys for watching. If you made it this far, I hope you have a good day. Peace.